area, in our northern section of riding area, you will have seen the trailers that were out there. That's actually a very common sight, especially for a weekend. So understand there is definitely a difference between weekday and weekend traffic. If you were to do this exact same tour on a Wednesday, it's literally a ghost town out here. Hardly any vehicles whatsoever. Parking lots are empty, and an occasional camper here and there. So it's totally different when you start talking about weekend traffic versus weekday traffic. Now, camping, I'll just briefly talk about it, just real simply. All campsites are reserved online only. It's through the U.S. Forest Service website for their sand camping. These are not KOA campsites, so the fact that you see trailers out there here is because they're fully self-contained. It's the easiest, most convenient way. These are still day-use areas, so even though overnight camping is allowed, motorized vehicle operations are not, especially after the hours of 10 o'clock. If you look to the left, you'll see a stake in the ground that has number 11 on it. That's your campsite marker. Now, it seems like a random spot for it, but they're designated sites. You reserve these online, and there's an online map associated with the sand campsites through the Forest Service. Those sites are reserved 3 months in advance, and you can stay up to 2 weeks out on the sand dunes. And like I said, I was going to just place the most typical setup. It's a truck with a trailer, whether it's an enclosed trailer in some way, shape, or form, a travel trailer, toy hauler, whatever you want to call it. That's the most basic one. Everything's there. Water, shelter, food, and cooking source, obviously. And then right now, they just enacted fire season this last week out here on the coast, which seems kind of strange because everything's basically on fire around us. But it's a totally different environment when you're living right on the coast. So it's usually like one of the last places at sea is the fire season when it gets going. So up until just a couple of days ago, you can still actually have campfires out on the sand dunes. So that's going to be the other thing. You're going to want some heat because this is not a tropical environment out there. It's pretty cold that night. Marine layer comes in. It feels like it's literally raining out sometimes. And so, again, trailers are the better way to go. I always get questions about trailers. So, simply summed up, yeah, you can get stuck in a trailer really, really easy, but you can get stuck in anything out there here if you don't take precautions. So the people that you see out there in the trailers, they kind of got to figure it out. Low tire pressures, things along those lines. They